December 21st, 2014, from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It was the New England Patriots and the New York Jets in this AFC East division rivalry matchup. And the Jets would start off with the ball first on their own 16. They would end up going 3 and out on their first possession as they would punt from their own 18. So now the Patriots would take over near midfield at their own 46. But on 3rd and 3 from the 47, Tom Brady was sacked for a 13-yard loss by Calvin Pace and David Harris. And so now on 4th and 16 from the 40, out would come the punting unit as the Patriots went 3 and out as well. So after the punt, the Jets would take over on their own 24 with about 11.5 minutes left still in the first quarter. They picked up a first down, but after 5 plays, they would end up punting the ball from their own 46. So now the Patriots would get the ball for the second time in this game. They had it on their own 21 to begin this possession with a little less than 10 minutes left in the first quarter. But they would end up going 3 and out as they would punt from their own 23. So now the Jets would take over with a little over 8 minutes left in the first quarter. They had on their own 45, but they would go 3 and out as well, and they would punt from the New England 47. So now the Patriots would get the ball on their own 8-yard line, backed up against their own end zone with a little over 6 minutes left in the first. They would pick up some first downs and get towards midfield, but then penalties. Well, actually, Brady was sacked by Wilkerson and Copels for an 8-yard loss on 1st and 10 from the 44, and they weren't able to recover from that because he got sacked on 3rd and 14 from the 40 for another 8-yard loss, this time by Allen and Davis. So on 4th and 22 from the 32, out came the punting unit, and they punted the ball to the Jets, who now took over on their own 10-yard line with about a minute and a half left before the end of the first quarter. They would be faced with a 3rd and 5 from the 15, and Geno Smith hit Percy Harvin for a 3-yard reception, and that brought the first quarter to a close. So after 1 quarter of play, this game was knotted up at a goose egg. Now to start the second quarter, the Jets would be punting the ball to the Patriots as they punted from their own 18. So after the punt, and Danny Amendola had a 39-yard return on the punt, and so now New England started off in field goal range with the ball on the New York 36 to begin their possession. They were then faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 29, and Tom Brady went to Amendola. He picked up 7 yards in the first down on the 22. Brady then went to Vereen. He picked up 12 yards in the first down and made a 1st and goal on the 10. Then an illegal use of the hands penalty against the Jets would make it 1st and goal on the 3. So now Brady would go to Gronkowski for the 3-yard touchdown pass to put the first points on the scoreboard in this game, with the score now New England 7, New York 0. So now the Jets would take over on their own 13-yard line to begin their first possession of the second quarter, as they had only punted the ball in this quarter. That was the only play they had run from scrimmage in this second quarter. But they were faced with a 3rd and 4 from their own 19. Geno Smith went to Powell. He had a 7-yard reception, a first down at the 26. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 26, Geno Smith went to Curley. He picked up 18 yards and a first down at the 44. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 50, Powell took a direct snap, 14 yards for the first down to the 36. They're then faced with a 3rd and 1 on the 27, and Chris Ivory punched it ahead 5 yards for the first down to the 22. And then on 2nd and 8 from the 20, Geno Smith drops back, and he found Cumberland for a 20-yard touchdown pass. And this game was tied up at 7 apiece as the Jets put their first points on the scoreboard. So now the Patriots would get the ball on their own 8-yard line after the kickoff. It was a holding penalty on the kickoff, and that's why they would begin on the 8. And they weren't able to get a first down, and they would end up punting from the 16. So they went 3 and out on the possession. So now the Jets would get the ball with less than 5 minutes left before halftime. They had on their own 38 to begin their possession. And on 2nd and 9 from the 39, Geno Smith hit Percy Harvin for an 11-yard reception and a first down at the 50. They were then faced with a 3rd and 7 from the New England 47. Geno Smith dropped back. It was incomplete, but an illegal contact penalty against the Patriots would make it a first down for the Jets on the New England 42. They were then faced with a 2nd and 8 from the 40. Geno Smith went to Percy Harvin. He picked up 25 and a first down in the red zone at the 15. but their drive would stall at the 8-yard line, and they would bring out Nick Folk to attempt a 26-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Jets took the lead for the first time in this game with the score now New York 10, New England 7. So now the Patriots would get the ball on their own 17 with less than a minute left before halftime, and on first down, Tom Brady was sacked by Sheldon Richardson and Calvin Pace for a 7-yard loss. So now Brady would just take a knee, and this game would go to halftime. So after one half of play, the score was New York 10, New England 7. So now to begin the second half, the Patriots would start off with the ball first, and they had on their own 21 to begin the first possession of the second half. But they would end up punting after 5 plays from their own 30. So now the Jets would get the ball after the punt on their own 29 with a little less than 13 minutes left in the third. They would pick up some first downs and move the ball to midfield and into New England territory all the way into the red zone. But then their drive stalled on the 5-yard line, and out would come Nick Folk to attempt a 23-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Jets extended their lead to 6 with the score New York 13, New England 7. So now the Patriots would get the ball after the kickoff to start their drive on their own 13. And they would be faced with a 2nd and 2 from the 21. Brady hit Gronkowski for a 10-yard reception, a first down at the 31. Then on 3rd and 3 from the 38, Brady went to Tim Wright. He picked up 12 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 50. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 44, Shane Vereen picked up 15 yards in the first down at the 29 of New York for the Patriots. Then on 2nd and 6 from the 25, Brady went to Brandon LaFell for an 11-yard reception and a first down in the red zone at the 14. But then their drive would stall on the 6-yard line, and out would come Gostkowski to attempt a 24-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, as the Patriots cut the Jets' lead to 3 with the score New York 13, New England 10. So now the Jets would get the ball with less than 2 minutes left in the third. They had it on their own 20 after the kickoff. And on 2nd and 10 from the 20, Geno Smith dropped back to pass. He was intercepted by Collins. So now the Patriots would take over in Jets territory with the ball on the New York 38 with just over a minute left in the third. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 37, Tom Brady hit Brandon LaFell for a 14-yard reception, a first down at the New York 23. Then on 3rd and 10 from the 23, Tom Brady went back to LaFell. He picked up 10 yards and a first down at the 13 as the third quarter came to a close. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was New York 13, New England 10. So now to begin the fourth quarter, the Patriots had the ball on the New York 13. It was first down, and Tom Brady scrambled 11 yards for the first down to bring the ball to the 2-yard line. So now it's first and goal on the 2. Jonas Gray picked up a yard, and on 2nd and goal from the 1, they gave it back to Gray, and Jonas Gray punched it in from a yard out for the touchdown, and that gave the Patriots the lead with the score now New England 17, New York 13. So now the Jets would get the ball on their own 22 after the kickoff. They would be faced with a 3rd and 8 from the 24. Geno Smith went to Cumberland. He picked up 8 yards in the first down at the 32. Geno Smith then went to John Connor, and he picked up 26 yards in the first down in New England territory at the 42. Geno Smith then went to Cumberland. He picked up 15, a first down at the New England 27. Then on 3rd and 8 from the 25, Geno Smith went to Eric Decker for a 13-yard reception, a first down in the red zone at the New England 12. But then on 2nd and 8 from the 10, Geno Smith was sacked by Saliga. And so after an incomplete pass, out would come the field goal unit as Nick Folk would attempt a 37-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and it was now a 1-point game with the score New England 17, New York 16. So now the Patriots had the ball with a 1-point lead, and after the kickoff, it was on the 24 to begin their possession with just under 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But on the 2nd and 15 from the 19, Tom Brady out of the shotgun, dropped back, and he was intercepted by Williams. And so now the Jets would take over on the New England 30, and then they wouldn't be able to get a first down. They actually, on 3rd and 4 from the 24, Geno Smith was sacked by Donta Hightower. And so out would come Nick Folk to attempt a 52-yard field goal. It would have been a 42-yard field goal if he hadn't been sacked, but it was a 52-yard attempt. It was up, and it was no good. And so the score remained New England 17, New York 16. So now the Patriots took over on their own 42 after the missed field goal. They're then faced with a 3rd and 7 from the 45. Tom Brady hit Amendola for a 7-yard 4-yard reception. The Jets challenged, but it was ruled a catch, and so they were charged a timeout, their second timeout, and that was a first down for the Patriots on the New York 48. A false start moved them back into their own territory at the 47, and then on 2nd and 8 from the 46, Tom Brady hit Amendola for a 12-yard reception, and it was now a first down for the Patriots on the New York 34. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 28, Bolden ran for 3 yards. He had run for 6 on first down, but now that made it 3rd and 1 on the 25. The Jets used their final timeout, and then on 3rd and 1, they ended up giving it back to Bolden. He picked up 17 yards, and that made it 1st and goal on the 8. But instead of adding insult to injury, the Patriots showed class, and they took 3 knees, and this game came to a close with the final score: New England 17, New York 16. So the Patriots win this game, and they stay the #1 seed as they have that #1 seed spot. Of course, the Broncos were hoping they'd lose, but no, we're not losing, Denver. And so the Broncos are going to have to take care of business on Monday night. But in this game, the Patriots, with the victory, are now 12-3. Like I said, they have the inside shot at the first seed. They are the #1 seed right now with 1 game left to play. And they're 5-3 on the road this season. And their final game will be at home. The Jets are 3-12 on the season, 2-6 at home on the season. And in this game, Tom Brady was 23 for 35 with 182 passing yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He also had 10 yards rushing off of 7 carries. Geno Smith was 17 for 27 with 210 passing yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He had 9 rushing yards off of 3 carries. The leading rusher in the game was Chris Ivory. He had 11 carries for 53 yards. The leading rusher for the Patriots was Shane Vereen with 6 carries for 38 yards. Bolden had 5 carries for 32 yards. The leading receiver in the game was Brandon LaFell. He had 7 receptions for 64 yards. Danny Amendola had 8 receptions for 63 yards. Rob Gronkowski had 6 receptions for 31 yards and a touchdown. The leading receiver for the Jets was Jeremy Curley. He had 3 receptions for 54 yards. Percy Harvin had 4 receptions for 44 yards. And Cumberland had 3 receptions for 43 yards, including a touchdown. And on defense, the game's leading tackler was Jamie Collins of the Patriots. He had 11 tackles. David Harris had 10 tackles for the Jets to be their leading tackler. Vince Wilfork and Dante Hightower each had 9 tackles. Hightower had that sack. McCourty and Saliga each had 8 tackles, and Saliga had a sack as well. Those were the 2 sacks for the Patriots. Collins, of course, also, he was their leading tackler. He had that interception. And Williams had the lone interception for the Jets. They actually combined for 4 sacks. Most of them were half sacks. Calvin Pace had a whole sack, even though that was 2 half sacks. But David Harris had a half sack, Davis had a half sack, Couples and Richardson each had half sacks, and Allen and Wilkerson each had half sacks. So they were just all up in Brady's face, a combined effort. But New England holds on to win in this defensive battle. The final score: New England 17, New York 16.